is right. Not with one, but two guests today. We have great panels here. I'm your host, Jessica Koch, and the show is, as you know, Profound Professionals. It's the interview series that has been coming to you, and now this is up for debate. I think 8 years, but it could be approaching 9. So we're going to have to check our numbers. And maybe you, as a guest, maybe you know what that is. So we want you to play with us today. Put some stuff in the comments, ask our guest questions, put your thoughts in. We'll prompt you. Don't worry. But anytime you have a thought, throw it in the comments. So, Profound Professionals, we bring you industry experts from all over the world. I have two very dapper gentlemen with me today. I have Greg and John. John is the Senior Vice President. Wave, John, so everyone knows who you are. That's John. And he is the Senior Vice President of Sales for Pinnacle AI. AI is a booming. It is the hot button. It is, everyone is talking about it. Between the word quantum and AI, I haven't heard them together, but I have been hearing those two terms for the most. So welcome, John.
Thanks, Jessica. And I want to thank you for having me on your show today as well. It's a pleasure.
Well, it's my honor. I love featuring brilliant people like the both of you. Now we have Greg. Man, Greg is certified in so many things. We just didn't have enough space to put it on the screen. Greg is certified as a life coach, a Reiki Master Teacher, Breathwork Facilitator. He also does brain spotting, which I am interested to hear. We had someone on the show a few months ago who did maybe mind mapping, something similar, I think. Really interesting. He's really dedicated to cultivating deep healing within the mind, body, and spirit. So all these different modalities and certifications and brilliant things he knows. He is here to help your mind, body, and spirit be the best version of you, because we just get one time over on this planet as we go around the sun, and we just don't know how many times that's going to happen, right? How many years, how many minutes do we have? So we want to make it the best that we possibly can. So welcome, Greg.
Thanks, Jessica. That's one of the best intros I've ever gotten in my life. Very, very grateful.
Well, thank you. I do my very best. We have to be a little entertaining, but a lot educational, and that's the value that we want to bring to everyone out there watching. So, John, I'm sorry, Greg, but John is kindred spirit. I am sales and marketing has been my life. It has been, any workshop, book, or guru has been like candy for me. I love it. So as a fellow salesperson, I would really love to hear a little bit of your journey first.
Yeah, absolutely, Jessica. And I got to tell you, I often don't hear too many people say, right, that they've been aspiring to be in sales, right? Usually it's a default career. But you know what, at the end of the day, it's it's the cornerstone of capitalism, right? So it is a noble profession, regardless of what people may think or say.
It's so needed. Here's what I got through. Here's how I got through all that. And here's how I trained many sales teams to get through all that. If you don't go out, really, sales are ultimate educators, and they're educators to help match a challenge or a puzzle or problem someone has with a solution. And if we have the ability and the power as marketers and salespeople to make someone's life better, and we don't do it because we're worried we're going to sound too salesy or someone's going to think we're a car salesman, then shame on us, because we have then not helped someone for fear that someone's going to think badly of us. And for me, it's all about helping someone else live a better life and have more time and have more money and have more resources with their family. And if I know a solution that I think they might need, then shame on me for not telling them. That's how I think. So sales is brilliant. I think it's one of the most wealthy professions, but it's also one of the most needed. So take it away, John.
Absolutely. And you're absolutely correct, Jessica. I think the best thing about my profession is that at the end of the day, you truly do get to help people, right? Mm-hmm. It's identifying a problem. In my case, I'm in a business to business sale, not business to consumer, right? So, the last 25 plus years, right? I've been in technology sales with some relatively large companies like Verizon, CenturyLink, which is now Lumen. And when you get to work in that enterprise space, you work with companies that they have real challenges. There's real problems, and when you get to uncover those problems and develop and deliver a solution that resolves those problems, it is a gratifying experience. There's no question about that.
Well,
So with
how long
that,
have you been with Pinnacle?
so Pinnacle AI, we're a startup, right? We've been around for coming up on a year now.
Mhm.
And I received a phone call, Jessica, from people that I used to work with in the technology business, right? A
Mhm.
handful of them were working at AWS and working in the AI/ML division. And they started working, building some models, right? Machine learning models uh, aimed at, in the IT space, really aimed at streamlining cloud infrastructure, right? Allowing the machine, training the machine to make recommendations, to make that cloud experience, to make that infrastructure more efficient, more effective, and certainly less costly. So I joined the team again, probably coming up on close to a year in a couple of months, and it's been a wild ride. Primarily, what we're focused on is developing proprietary and custom AI systems, really designed at modernizing, optimizing business process functions, and so forth. So it's been a wild ride, and it's a rapidly changing industry. There's no question about that.
Before we start to hear a little bit about Greg's journey and story, give me an example of the kind of company that would come and work with you. Do they have 50 employees? Are they in manufacturing? Are they, a larger company? Is there a certain industry? Give us an idea. Or is it the solopreneur, or someone who has a small team who could really use your services, or a little of both? Give us some sort of
Yeah,
clue.
well, it's definitely both, Jessica, and that's a great question, right? The thing about technology, especially artificial intelligence, machine learning, automation, it really is the great equalizer in business. Right? If you go back a couple decades, the truth of the matter is that there was a true divide between the SMB, the small business owner, and large enterprise in terms of how you went to market and how you competed. The beautiful thing about artificial intelligence, right, is that you can allow the machine to do the work of 100 people. So when you start applying some of these technologies in sales and marketing and product development, you really can kind of go on and on and on. You do not need to be a Fortune 500 company to really take advantage of those services. As a matter of fact, right, with a lot of the products that are out in the marketplace today, the smallest of companies with the smallest of budgets, right, can present themselves and compete in a global workforce.
True.
So
So
our
your
range,
product is very affordable, is what I'm hearing. It's possible,
absolutely.
it's reachable for many. The one thing I know I'm trying to find, and maybe you can give me some direction after this, and if you're interested too, put it in the comments, because we'll get you his answer off the side when I get it later. But I'm looking for an AI software that's a closed AI concept that uh, an author could use with the feeling of safety for research, creating their pieces, to know that copyright and trademark and all of their private secret sauce is not going to be slipped out in the world, right? Because if they use some of the open ones out there, then they could run into trouble. And if it's designed right, I know that there is such thing as a closed AI, and I think it could be created to support authors for research and other things, not to create the books, but to actually give the support an author needs in a different way than just Googling something, without losing, like I said, some of that proprietary knowledge that they don't want out there in the world, and some of the other tools that you could use in that capacity. So you'll have to give us our answer secretly, and then they'll have to get with us to get it. So
Yeah.
yeah, I think
So
you
I
know
mean,
something.
look, we can keep that answer a secret, or I can kind of give you a little bit of high level right, of some of the things that you may be able to look at, right? So first, Jessica, when we're talking about artificial intelligence is really an umbrella of many different branches. So under the artificial intelligence umbrella, right, we have branches of, right, you have machine learning, natural language processing, right, which is really getting the machine to replicate human communication, right, verbal
Mm-hmm.
communication, text, so forth like that.
Yeah.
The big term that we hear today is generative AI. Generative AI is basically right where you can feed the machine a corpus of data, and that
Mm-hmm.
machine will then generate new data, new output, right, of
Mm-hmm.
similar context, but it will be completely original. So
Mm-hmm.
when you look at now, I'm certainly, all right, I certainly am not looking to sell other companies outside of Pinnacle AI, but here's the truth of the matter. We all are aware of like ChatGPT,
Right.
and there are, right, you have Google Gemini,
Yeah, but
you
the
have,
risk with that is when you put stuff out in there, who else knows about it and where else does it go? And what
yeah.
are the terms and conditions of that? So you put something into ChatGPT and you really could be losing some of your own private work. And so that's why I'm
And you
hesitant.
have to be careful, but here's the
Yeah.
thing. When I say this, right, I'll probably get the termination slip for promoting other people's generative AI solutions. But when you look at OpenAI and you look at some of these other systems that are out there, they do have an option, right? They do give you a free option. The far majority of people, right, go on to ChatGPT. They're using the free option, and you're absolutely right. When you put content onto the free versions of Anthropic or Claude or Perplexity or, right,
Mm,
again, ChatGPT,
right.
whatever content you put on is open and exposed to the real world. But
Right.
those companies do offer an enterprise
Right.
edition, right, so to speak, where they do give you right, they do give you a platform that's kind of where your content's firewalled off, right, from other content, right, that there's no supposedly data leaks, so forth like that.
Yeah, I just
Um,
don't trust that, I guess, is what it comes
yeah,
down to. So I'm on the paid version, but
yeah.
we should continue this piece after because I do want to get to. I got sidewalked on my own my own desires there. Greg, you are in safe hands. AI is not taking over Reiki. Pretty sure they're not taking over breath work. I don't think they're gonna whatever it is you do with the mind, the brain spotting, pretty sure then the AI is not jumping into that. I could be wrong, but tell us how you got into this space and what kind of customers that you serve.
I got originally into the space of healing a long, long time ago when I was pursuing my cycling career as a professional athlete. I was
Mm,
looking for healing for my lungs and breathing and throat issues.
mm,
I found a Reiki master who happened to be part of my bike racing community, and she got me on this whole track of exploring various healing modalities to heal not only my lungs, but my spirit, my mind, and to get more information about how to share these newfound gifts and modalities with others.
that's wonderful. And what kind of people are coming to you? Like, what's happening in their world? Like, I know what's happening for John. For John, they're like, oh my gosh, there's got to be an easier way. We could probably automate 2/3 of what we're doing here. We need some experts. So let's have them come in and take a look and customize something great for us so that we can free up our hands. But what's happening with your customers? They're what? I hear where you were. You were suffering with breath itself. But
Yeah.
what other reasons and where are some of the spaces your clients are coming to you from?
Oh, my clients have come to me from a variety of places, especially trauma and losses. So,
Mm,
those suffering from the loss of a family member, or those who've suffered the loss of parts of their own life, those going through big life transitions who can't quite handle all the emotional overloaded information that they're receiving, have been my clients the most recently. Um,
a great resource for you might be to tie in with the medical facilities that work with patients that choose to be donors. They have a donor department, and recently my husband had a very dear friend. Matter of fact, they were friends since they were 7. And he had a series of strokes and we lost him. And it was a very profound experience to see, and very beautifully done. The family decided, based on believing that he would want to be a donor, to give, and they pushed his bed down to the operating room to dedicate these organs to help other people continue life, down the hallway, and it was lined with nurses and doctors and all the medical staff, and it was profound and moving. And I know that the families that go through a loss like that and make a sacrifice like that, there's some peace knowing that part of that person that you love is still with us on this planet because someone else is living from their organ. But I think that would be a great connection for you, because your breath work and your Reiki and all of those healing modalities would be fabulous for these families. And I'm sure they're open to different resources like that. I just recently experienced that, and I was very humbled to be even just the small support and outsider, really there just to support my husband and the family that was very connected to this wonderful human. And it was my honor to be there and to witness it, something I'll never forget.
What a wonderful suggestion. I would totally, I'm working cooperatively with brain spotting healers, other trauma healers as well, massage therapists. Being in the hospital area with those families suffering from medical issues is totally a great avenue that I'd like to explore. So thanks for mentioning that. I can put that in my itinerary immediately ahead of me.
Before we shake John real hard down for a tip that will help everyone in the world of AI, is there anything else about you or your business that we didn't cover that we could share? Are you doing workshops? Do you just do one-on-one? Are you doing group projects? Is there an online course you have? Is it only in person? Kind of what else about your business can we know before we really twist John's arm there to give us a powerful tip that everyone can use today in the world of AI?
That's a great question. My company, Awaken Roots, offers in-person live events once a month here in Minneapolis, and we also offer, right alongside that, our online events, which are accessible from anywhere in the world or country, and they're online group healing events that include breath work, connection, and genuine healing and relief.
And those online events are once a month?
Yeah, they're once a month. Next one's on October 9th, and then November 13th after that. In addition to that, I have my full-time one-on-one healing practice.
And they can go to your website to find, if you're watching this months and months from now, you can go to Greg's website to find out when the next one coming is. Is that correct?
Yep, exactly. We're always going to be updating our schedule.
What's the site, Greg?
Awakened-roots.com.
Wonderful. Okay, good. All right. Well, now, John, you heard it. I don't fib. I need a tip from you. We need something good, something juicy. Give us a secret, secret AI that nobody knows.
All right. Well, listen, it won't be too, listen, my tip is not going to be betting on a 3-legged horse, right? But I do have several tips, right? I think, one tip from a business perspective, and we wrestle with this internally all the time, is never fall in love with your own ideas, right? You should always be your greatest antagonist when it comes, right, to business ideas, right? That's different, right, in a personal setting, but, bad ideas have consequences in the business world. They generally, right, they generally cause you money, and it's not a matter of, right, what you think is a good idea. It's what you think. It's what you think the business is. It's what the business community certainly thinks, right? So from that business perspective, right, always be that antagonist, right? Always, always run your ideas by other people and don't take it personal. From an AI perspective, one of the things we see, Jessica, is, we talk about, I refer to it as, right, like Skynet, right? For those who have watched, ever seen the movie Terminator.
Oh yeah, I'm married to a sci-fi guy. I know what that means.
Exactly. So, look, there are things in AI that the developers, right? A lot of times you hear the term ethical AI, right? That developers need to and regulators need to be concerned with. But we are still in the early stages, right? You know, from a
It's the
classification.
Wild West. That's what I tell people. It's the wild.
Absolutely. And but there's still a lot of limitations within machines itself. From the business perspective, we often are talking to people that say, "Hey, this AI thing out there, right? I hear it can, right? You know, Skynet, it's going to cause the end of the world." But really, the business challenge is how can I deploy a technology and get a return on investment, right?
Yes.
And usually, what happens is that when we enter engagements or we start talking to companies, folks have these grandiose ideas how they're going to apply some branch of artificial intelligence to revolutionize their business, their industry, how they go to market. So that usually doesn't work out too well, right? So generally, for those people who are exploring utilizing machine learning or natural language processing or generative AI or deep learning, right? Any of those branches within the artificial intelligence tent, start small, right? Start small with something that's achievable and measurable. So at the end of the project, even if it's beta, you can
Yeah.
actually, right? You can see that return on investment, right?
And
And
then
again,
scale from there, right? If it works, then grow and scale.
and grow and scale. Absolutely, no question
I
about
think that that's a great suggestion. I'm going to throw one thing in the a monkey in the wrench. I'm going to throw.
it. All right.
I'd say take John's advice, but add as you take these baby steps, remembering to incorporate true relationships with however you're using that AI. So I'm always a fan of technology and automating things, especially in sales, but also retaining a human touch. So, for example, I like things like ringless voicemail drop because it's still my voice saying, "Hey, I'm Jessica. We were on that networking thing together. I sent you an email. I would love for you to check it so that we can get together on a one-to-one and learn more how to collaborate," right? Even if that goes out to 50 people, it's my voice to those 50 people. So I retain some of that personal touch, right? So I love things, I love technology that we can meld with personal relationship, personal touch, and remembering not to completely shake that out of the process because then we do become robots.
Yeah, Jessica, that's great advice, right? And I think that's some of the misconception that's out there, right? You know,
Mhm.
I mean, you turn on the news and people talk about, oh, right, everybody's going to lose their jobs because of artificial intelligence,
Nah,
right?
more jobs are going to be made than ever before.
Mhm.
Absolutely. And it's interesting because right in the business on the technology side, we refer to it as human in the loop, right?
Mhm.
And machine learning has been around for a long time. Robotics have been around for a long time, which is a branch of artificial intelligence.
Mhm.
There's a term used in robotics, right, called cobots. You see this in manufacturing, where
Mhm.
robots aren't necessarily replacing people, they're working alongside of people. So,
Mhm.
right, it's not that artificial intelligence, right, is going to, right, it's going to exponentially grow the unemployment line.
Mhm.
Artificial intelligence is a mechanism, right, to increase productivity of the human being. But
Yeah.
right, you still need the human element. You still need compassion. You still need emotion, right? You know, you still
Mhm.
right. You still need to be able to, uh, right, figure things out. Right. Those
Yeah.
are some things that machines can't necessarily do.
Yeah, it's not, I love also the concept of it's not, I've learned in my lifetime, I think one of the most powerful things I've learned as a 51-year-old is that or isn't a word I choose to play often with. It's and. So when there's a solution, how can AI and the personal relationship be a part of the equation? You know, how do we keep things together. So, usually people think, oh, we could do it this way or this way. Well, no, my brain goes, well, wait a minute. How can we do it both ways? How can we have both of those? How can we do it that way and this way and have both of those play together nice on the playground? And I think that that's important. And you know what? The cool thing about AI that people aren't realizing is we're suddenly going to be in this place where art and music and creativity. I mean, because of my virtual assistant team and artificial intelligence and being able to outsource things, I am writing songs and building children's books with my 13-year-old and writing a novel series. I have 3 mapped out fiction novels that, I also have my online courses, and I kayak and I paint and I sew, and my husband runs a company and we run a 3rd investment company, and all of this, and live a full life of joy and sit outside and watch the sunrise and drink a cup of coffee in the rocking chair and still have time to do everything else. And I think that's what technology can give us if we allow it to. So
Absolutely, Jessica. And you just kind of described the way, we started off here, is that automation, artificial intelligence, the branches of artificial intelligence, right? It is the great equalizer that allows Jessica Koch as a small business for all intents and purposes, right? I'm assuming that you don't have teams of thousands of people out there, right, at your beck and call. But
we have about 100 VAs globally that help our clients all over the world, but we're not in the thousands of teams, no, yet.
Right. But, you get to be as productive as if you had thousands of people, right? So it is a great equalizer for business, and it's a great equalizer, right, for personal satisfaction, because it allows you to increase productivity and pay attention and do those types of things, right? This is kind of like the Elon Musk theory, right? That AI will allow us all to do the things
we
at
love.
some point that we enjoy in life, not be forced to do the things that we have to.
Now we have to get to Greg's tip, because truthfully, when it boils down to all, none of that matters if we don't have our health. Suddenly, it doesn't matter how much money you have in the bank. It doesn't matter if your business is going. It doesn't matter if you have time or money. If you don't have your health, nothing else matters. Everything stops, and your only focus is on, how do I get healthy again? And if you're feeling pain, the world can also stop, because you can't process, you can't think, and that can be both emotional pain as well as physical pain. And I do need to give this disclaimer that I am the Italian mother of 7, as you know, but I'm not your mama, and I'm not your doctor. We're not giving you medical, legal, financial, professional business advice. You can take what we're sharing with you as what's worked for us, what we know, our experiences, and enjoy them. But if you need to see a professional, then please go do that. This is a podcast and a video podcast and a show. So if you need any of those things, go seek one of those professionals. But Greg, as we get to that, you need to give us a tip, because we just gave everyone the ability to live their best life possible and have the time to do it with AI, with John's tip. But like I said before, without our health, and if we're feeling pain, emotional or physical, it's difficult to do. So we definitely need you.
Yeah, I wholeheartedly agree. One of my favorite quotes of all time is that if you do not have peace, you have nothing, because all the wealth, all the possessions in the world can't do anything for you if you don't have your peace, health, like your physical well-being. The tip that I want to share is to persist. In this day and age, trauma has expanded throughout the globe, but so has the ability to network and connect with able-bodied healers. So if you've tried 1,000 methods and they haven't worked, keep looking. There are new ways to address trauma that have never been here before, that are spreading, and they're available thanks to the ubiquity of technology that they were talking about before. It can be accessible even to you in your own home with your own cell phone or your own computer.
You are not alone, that is for sure. There is something out there you can try. There is a solution. I always grew my 7 children up telling them all, as long as there is life, there is hope. It may seem hopeless. You might think you can't find the solution or to the final puzzle piece to that problem that you're trying to solve. But as long as you're breathing and you're alive, there is hope to solve it and people out there who will help you. So that is a good message, good tip. Thank you, Greg.
Yeah, my pleasure.
So how about everybody out there watching, get your fingers ready, because we want you to type in the comments the nonprofit that is close to your heart. One of the things I'm proud of in this show is we feature amazing humans, but we take a moment of pause to spread awareness. Awareness is one of the most powerful things you can give any cause you care about. And so if you have a nonprofit that you love, put it in the comments. And guess what? If someone is as kind and loving as you and they hit the share button, they might see your comment and be inspired to give time, treasure, or talent to that cause because you took the time to put it in the comments and someone else hit the time to hit share. And so it's getting out there in the world. So that's what we want to do here. You could be someone's hero. If we do nothing with this podcast but inspire someone else there to do something good today, remember a cause they care about on their own, and they get back involved just because they watched the show and went, oh yeah, I haven't gone down to that homeless shelter in a long time. I wonder what they need. Maybe I can volunteer. If we inspire someone to do that, good on us. So John, do you have a nonprofit or a cause that you care about?
Yeah, so here locally in Philadelphia, there's a nonprofit called, actually, they just recently changed their name, but probably most known as Sunday Breakfast Rescue Mission. They now are called Philly House, but most of the contributions go directly to the end users. They are a homeless shelter, right? They do feed hungry. And it's really a great organization that gives people a second chance in life. And certainly, Jessica, right, just to kind of give a little plug, right? Look, not everybody ends up in despair, right, due to their own actions, right?
Yeah,
I mean, past couple of years have been tough on a lot of people, right?
yes, yeah.
Right, going to work, right? Except the cost of living your life, right? For a lot of people has now exceeded, right,
Yeah.
what their incomes are. Can't pay the bills, right? Doesn't usually work out that well for you. So it's a great organization, like I said. Not that there's anything wrong with larger charities, but sometimes the larger charities, right, less of your dollar actually ends up in the pockets of the people who really need it.
True.
And the Philly House is a great organization that, again, a good percentage of your contribution actually goes to work to helping those in need.
Thank you, John. So check out the Philly House or check out a homeless shelter in your community and see how you can help. Hey, Greg, how about you? You got a nonprofit that you love?
Yeah, the nonprofit that I want to mention is called the Grunt Style Foundation. The Grunt Style Foundation is dedicated to helping war veterans get their feet on the ground, keep their feet on the ground, and stay physically and mentally healthy. They provide food, they provide education, they provide housing, they provide a slew of community and healing services to war vets. This is extra important right now because war vets are an overlooked part of our population. Since 9/11, the number of war vets who have committed suicide is upwards of 7 times the number that have died in service and war. And the Grunt Style Foundation helps to give those.
Can you say the name of it again? I'm sorry.
Yeah, they're called the Grunt Style Foundation.
Okay.
Grunt Style, it's army slang for infantrymen.
Oh, okay. Spell it for us.
GRUNTSTYLE.
Yeah, so grunt style.
Yeah, grunt style.
Got it. Yeah, they have all their chants and oorahs and things in the military, and so maybe it comes a little bit inspired from that.
Yeah, it's from their slang.
Very cool. Very cool. Thank you for sharing that. My father was in the Navy. My first husband was Air Force, and so I was an Air Force wife. And my son right now is active duty Army. So I've been involved in the military from almost every angle except for personally enrolling. I was in ROTC in high school. I just never signed up myself, but I've definitely loved and supported sons, husbands, and fathers who have been in the military. So I appreciate everyone who is in service and the families that love those people, because that's not an easy job either. So thanks for sharing that.
Yeah, I'm happy to share.
Okay, here's the next one. Your fingers are ready. They're warmed up from the nonprofit, but now you're supposed to put your favorite books in the comments. You know how much I love them. I am a bookworm at big time. Audio, digital, hard copy, old fashioned, smell the paper and flip the pages. I love books. I like books that inspired your personal life or helped you grow your business. We want to know the books from you out there. Type them in the comments. And if you're an author, OMG, put it in there. And that's, oh my goodness, we really want to see all the authors out there and hear about your books. And guess what? If people hit share, then your book will be everywhere. So, we want to hear from John. John, do you have a book that inspired your personal life or helped you grow your business?
Yeah. So, book I read a long time ago. I figure I could come and share with you a handful of sales books and technology-driven books, but probably wouldn't reflect too well on on me personally. So I'll give you another book. Again, this goes back a little ways. 7 Habits for Highly Effective People.
Great.
Great book, right?
Great book.
Great book. And certainly elements, right? I think the most important takeaway, just a high level, right, is that, right, people are trying, in a lot of self-help books, right, people are trying to move away from dependency to independency. And I think the focus of Stephen Covey's book is really interdependency, right? Like we're better off collectively, right, collaborating with other people than we are certainly individually. And there's a lot of great lessons in the book itself.
It's on my shelf. It's over here. Oh, here's the 8th habit. You can see that one really big probably. But the 7th one is up here also. I love it. He's a great author, great book to share. And I would have loved sales books too. And by the way, I'm going to give you one. Quantum Marketing. I was told that someone got that book and it was like, I don't know, an audio, and it was like 6 hours or something. He said he didn't stop listening for entire 6 hours because it was like major marketing on steroids in a really exciting capacity. So that is the next one I'm checking out. Totally love sales books. I'm obsessed. And so you would have been welcome to share those too. But Stephen, he's a great author, and that was a great share. So thank you for that. How about you, Greg? You got a book that inspired your personal life or helped you grow your business?
Yeah, one of my favorite books of all time is called The Reluctant Healer by David Elliott. David Elliott was one of my personal teachers for breathwork, and he's empowered others with tools to help to heal their own mind, get some wellness, and you can do it through breathwork or connecting to nature or any number of ways. But he talks about his own journey and how to heal yourself on deep and many various levels.
I love that. That's really great. I've never heard that book, I don't think, and I'm glad that you shared it.
Yeah.
So, John,
see, what's better off, Jessica, the fact that I mentioned a book that's on your shelf, or Greg mentioned a book that you haven't read yet, right?
Well, I like both. I like both. It's all good. It's all good.
Variety is the spice of life.
That's right. We need a little everything. So, John, is there anything about you or the business that you haven't had a chance to share before I begin to wrap us up?
Yeah, absolutely. So, we started talking, Jessica, early on, right? I think you had a little conversation about where people are trying to wrap their heads around artificial intelligence and the many different branches and starting small. So we at Pinnacle AI do a couple things, right? So number one, we often have workshops for our customers. There's certainly, right, no charge for the workshop, but we help customers uncover really what the use case is, how they can measure that use case, measure the return on investment of that use case, and also measure productivity. The other thing that we do is that we, so unlike the open AIs out there, we build our own transformers. We build our own AI systems from the ground up. So we have a variety of different demos. If you want to, go through our natural language processing demo, right, to certainly see how the machine learns, how we can train the machine, and how it can be applied, right, to whatever use case you may have. And certainly you can reach us at www.pinnacleai.net, right, where, we have a host of information there, and certainly, the ability to kind of schedule appointments, schedule workshops, demos, and things of that nature as well.
Very cool. I love that. And I love that it's a reachable service for people of all different stages of business. I think that's very exciting to know. And I think you guys should check him out. Check out one of his workshops. You just don't know. And a demo. I mean, that could be really impressive and interesting. And one of the fascinating things about AI is the most limiting thing at this point about AI is our ability to imagine what it can do for us. So if we could sometimes come to someone like a John or John and say, "Hey, here's my day. Here's what I do. Here's the tasks and the functions our company runs every day, every week, every month, every quarter, every year." They can sometimes see the picture from a different angle and say, "Oh, these things can be integrated. These things can be eliminated. These things can be automated. These things can be outsourced. And man, your profit pot will triple." Right? So we really are limited with the world of AI by our imagination. So don't go at this alone. Get someone like John to work with you, meet with you, and explore the possibilities from an angle that you have never seen before. So thank you,
I
John.
could not have said that better myself, Jessica. Thank you. Matter of fact, I need the recording and clip so we can throw that up on our website.
I believe it. I know that there is magic here. It's exciting. This is the Wild West in an exciting way where there aren't Indians or cowboys shooting us. Okay. It's really, really exciting stuff, right? The Wild West in AI is beautiful, right? It just everything can be used for the power of good or the power of evil. So we can be worried about the devastation, or we could be excited about the expansion and the abundance. And I'm going to just go with the other. I'm all about the abundance and the wonderful of everything. So, Greg, how about you? Anything about your business that we didn't get to cover yet?
Oh yeah, it's interesting that you should mention expansion and abundance, because I want to draw attention to the breath. Everyone is always breathing upwards of 23,000 times in a day, and why not harness even just a small portion of those breaths in your service to help to alleviate pain, alleviate nerves, mood issues. A consciously guided breathwork session with awakened roots can help you to get tuned into your body, your breath, and really get level in the present moment. One of my favorite quotes is from my wife, actually. "Nothing brings you into the present moment like the breath."
I like that. One of the things I want to learn to do with breath work is to get re-energized. I'm trying to stay away from caffeine and coffees. And back in the old days, I'd take some form of stay awake medicine, or grab the energy drinks or whatever. And I just don't think that's good for my body. And so I'm trying to find natural ways to create and get that second wind, and be able to go a little longer and push a little harder when I need to. I rest a lot. I believe in sleep and good rest, but one of the things I believe could be accomplished with breath work is re-energizing myself.
One practice you might try is called 20 continuous breaths for re-energizing. It's a fast technique that you can use in about 30 seconds that re-energizes your whole body and can help you to boost your mood really completely.
All right, well, tell us how to do this.
It's called 20 continuous breaths, and the key is that you have 4 fast breaths separated by one big one. It goes like this. And then the 5th. And on that 5th exhale, you exhale completely. If you string 4 of these rounds together, you get 20 total, and it can re-energize you, wake you up, perk you up, prepare you for a meeting, and really boost your energy and mood. Yeah.
So 4 fast ones, and then like one deep, slow one.
Yep.
And you do that 4 times.
Yep.
You do that 5 repetitions 4 times.
Yep. 4 fast breaths.
I have that many fingers, so I can go fast, 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 slow. Okay, that's 1. Yeah, I can do this.
Exactly.
Or Jesse, you can hyperventilate 4 times, right? Take a respite, hyperventilate.
That was his advice. Not hyperventilating on this show. Okay, so if you're out there and you're thinking, hey, wait, I'm an author, I'm a speaker, I'm an inspiring human, I could help someone's personal life be better than it is today. I could help someone grow their business and make their bank account swell and be wonderful instead of frightening. If you can do that and you'd like to be on the show, well, then reach out to us and our team and we'll tell you just how to get here because we would love to feature you. Now, before we say goodbye, I'm not letting these gentlemen go until they give us a final thought, a piece of information or inspiration. So I hope you didn't think you were done yet because you got one more piece of inspiring words to leave us all with. And John, what do you have for us?
Yeah. So, I mean, I would just say, Jessica, that, at the end of the day, right, I'm going to pull something from Stephen Covey's book, right? And that is, right, understand, right, before you ask to be understood, right? And, at the end of the day, it kind of gets back to, right, walk a mile in somebody else's shoes, see the world through somebody else's eyes. I think at the end of the day, if we try to understand, right, those people that we're engaging with, understand their situation, understand their viewpoints and points of the world, right? Like you get to that point of collaboration and a win-win environment a lot easier and a lot quicker.
I love that. That's beautiful. How about you, Greg? You got a piece of inspiration for us as we close out the show today?
That was beautiful, and mine sort of goes along the same lines as being in terms of being cooperative, collaborative, and community-based. If you are working on your own self in a vacuum, you can go only so far before you realize that the whole community at large is connected with you, and they depend on you bringing your best foot forward, just like you depend upon the world supporting you.
I love that. That's beautiful. It has been so nice having you dapper gentlemen on my show today, and I hope you've had as much fun as I have.
Absolutely, Jessica. And, Greg, it was great appearing with you as well. I was only joking about the hyperventilating.
Sometimes it can appear like hyperventilating, so that's more than welcome. I want to say thank you, Jessica, for having us. And John, it was an honor to work with you as well. I'm excited about AI's developments myself.
And I believe there is a place for AI and what you're doing as well, and a way for you to expand how you support your clients, Greg. So that is definitely something for you to explore, because I've seen it already happening out there. Really some beautiful stuff in the world for AI, for even your space of the world, Greg. All right, everyone. I hope you had a good time with this show. Catch some of the other shows, catch some of the upcoming shows, catch some of the shows from the past. That we've got some really brilliant, amazing people in there. But until our next show, I'm still your host, Jessica Koch. This is still Profound Professionals, the show that will bring you industry experts that help improve your personal life and grow your business. Until our next show, be kind to yourself out there and be kind to each other. Bye.